So for this short video, we're going to have a look at how we would create a chiropleth map using paint and identifying the natural breaks in the data set that we're going to use. So the first thing we're going to do is, with our data set, put it into Excel, and we will look at the data. We will sort it into the largest to smallest. We want to make sure that we've got the countries with it. So Mozambique would match up as 551 per 100,000 people. So we've got this data set in order now. So I just want to make a nice simple column graph. And if I expand out my column graph, I can actually now identify some really specific breaks in the data that I couldn't have identified before. Even if I put it along a spectrum, I wouldn't be able to, or a continuum, I wouldn't be able to see this data as easily. So, it works when you've got really big ranges of data sets. So I can see quite clearly here, from South Africa to Mozambique would be our highest or darkest data set. And then we have from Zambia to Botswana, Nigeria to Malawi, and then Burundi down to Egypt. So I can see 4 distinct groups. So let's put that over then into, into Paint. I have my map from DMaps. I've just got that from DMaps. So I'm going to now create my legend. So let's just make our squares. Right, so I've got my 4 boxes. So I'm just going to, with my colours, I'm going to get a range, colour range, and I'll just simply pick 4 spots along this range so I can gather the accurate colours. So I'll do my tint fill with that one, then let's change that around. Let's go there, then that one, then that one, then that one. Alright, so I have created my legend pretty quickly here, and just looking at the graph, I have then approximated my groupings. So anything less than 120, which is my little Burundi down to Egypt, I'm simply going to tin can Egypt, Libya, Mali, Rwanda, and Burundi. Then I'll go to my next colour. So anything from 121, Malawi, Cameroon, Nigeria. Alright, then I'll go to Botswana.
South Australia, you have to see it to believe it. And you can, thanks to 20% off South Australia holiday packages on Webjet.
Maybe for any little treat, Creatingchoropleth is here with the deal. Grab a small cheeseburger deal with an extra cheeseburger for just $5. Only on the MyMac app. Hurry in, it's this Sunday.
Alright, so I've got a nice little chiropleth map there. I'll just put in the north point. So we can have a student just copy that straight into an assignment that they're doing. But just for comparison's sake, I'm going to now create a graph. So say, chiropleth map. So what I'll probably look at is maxing out around 600. So now I'm going to have a go creating a chiropleth map with 4 groupings. So roughly around 150 values each. So less than 150, 151 to 300, 301 to 450, and greater than 451. And I'll show you what they look side by side. Alright, so what I've done is I have created these 2 natural groupings. So just if I can maybe try and expand this out a bit. You can see on this side where I've tried to make these groupings, and there are actually distinct differences. So if you had a student who used even breaks, they wouldn't actually see that Algeria, Kenya, Botswana are really actually in the upper values of the data sets that we've collected. You would actually put it in one of the lower halves, so the under 300s. But if you're looking at the data set and the breaks in the data, the natural breaks, they're actually more in line with what's happening in these higher countries of high prevalence of tuberculosis. So, yeah, like I said, they wouldn't have picked that out if they had done the even breaks. That's probably the most distinct difference, and this is just just some data that I grabbed from World Bank. So I could have grabbed a bit more. I could have gone Angola, Tanzania, or we might have got a greater pattern going on. But already, students would be able to determine that there is quite a pattern going on in Southern Africa. And then they might have even been able to then identify maybe what's going on in Algeria, and is there some kind of connection between Algeria and the rest of the Mediterranean, and that might have an impact on what you're seeing in Algeria particularly. Or we could grab Tunisia, Morocco, and see what's happening there as well. And there's a pattern. But it does look like it's quite an anomaly at the moment that students could discuss. So yeah, that was really quick, and hopefully that's given you an idea on why we would use natural breaks in many occasions over an even break for our legends.